Have you noticed that from interview to interview, you get asked the same questions, even if the position is different? This is because beside your qualification and hard skills, all the companies have a few major things they're interested in. Hi there and welcome to my channel. My name is Oksana. I run a hospitality recruitment company. Today we're going to talk about 3 crucial questions that you will meet pretty much at every interview and of course how to answer them. Let's start in the beginning. Question number 1. What do you think? Yeah, you guessed it. Tell me about yourself. Seems super obvious and super easy on one hand, like duh, we know everything about ourselves and we can talk about ourselves for hours. But on the other hand, you don't have hours, you have only 1 or 2 minutes to summarize everything there is about your great self to tell your HR manager. And when HR manager asks you this open question, they kind of giving you an opportunity to choose what do you think they need to know about yourself? What kind of information do you think is relevant to this specific situation? So you want to be really professional about this. Basically, there are 3 parts to answer to this question. Number 1 is your background. In a few sentences, summarize where you're from, what did you study, and your relevant experience or skills to this specific role. If you only have 2 years of experience in this sphere, concentrate on those. Don't go into details on all the other experiences. If you don't have experience in this sphere, also address this issue in this part of the answer. And make sure that you just really briefly give like the gist of your CV without just repeating everything that is in it. Number 2 is kind of your current situation. So you want to give HR manager a context about what you do right now and how did you end up at this interview and why. Number 3 is your goals and aspirations. And here a little trick, you want to tie it up back to the role that you're interviewing for. So you want to show how this role will help you achieve your aspiration, how that is aligned, right? Because if your aspirations lay in some different sphere, there is a legitimate question, why do you even apply for this specific job? So you have to make sure that your goals and aspiration aligned with the position you're applying for. I cannot stress enough the importance of this question. It's the first question and it's the question that pretty much sets the tone for the whole interview. I know sometimes it could be boring, you go through interviews and you have to repeat kind of the same story, and sometimes it could show in your attitude. But trust me, if you fail this question, it really could go downhill from there. So you want to master this one. A few things to avoid answering this question is, number 1, go into details about your personal life. Not here. Second, rambling. When you are not prepared and you're nervous, you may start rambling and just saying random stuff without like connecting the dots. Number 3 is repeating your CV. HR manager can read. They don't want that. They want to hear the story behind your CV. They want to hear your take, your journey. So make sure that you prepared your answer in advance, that you rehearsed it, memorized it, adjust it, made necessary tweaks. It should be kind of like your elevator pitch. Wherever you are, whoever you're talking to, on a cue, you should be able to quickly tell a person about yourself. Moving on. Next crucial question is salary expectations. And here we could have potentially 2 different situations. So situation number 1 is when in job post company specifically mentioned the package provided for this position. Then if you're being asked about your salary expectations during the interview, they pretty much want to hear that you saw that number and that you agree to that number. And this is pretty much the only logical answer you can give, that you saw the number that they are given and you're okay with that, or at least that you're looking for something around that, and you can get back to that later on if they give you an offer. Or if your expectations are a little bit lower, you should say that I saw the number that you're suggesting, but I was wondering if there is any space for negotiation because I was looking for something higher. But if your real expectations are a lot higher than what you saw in the job ad, this is not a job for you. Do not apply. You will waste your time and time of the employer. Second situation is when there is no specific number given from the beginning. Then answering this question, you want to kind of address the market situation, and for that you have to research it in advance. So you could say that I know that for this position on the market, average salary is between this and that, and I'm, let's say, looking for something on the higher end of the range. You also can ask what kind of budget they have in mind, so you can go from there building your answer. This is if we're talking about this question in general. But if we're talking about work in Gulf region, in hospitality market, the market that I work in, and I know that a lot of you guys probably are looking for a job there. So there, I would say you have to keep in mind that if in the job post there is one specific number, then it means that it is probably not negotiable, especially for line staff. And if it's not aligned with your expectations, don't waste your time. For large hotels and restaurants, they usually have a fixed budget for each role. They will not go for different salaries for different candidates who is obtaining the same position. I would say that negotiations about salary here are possible from the level of assistant manager and above. Before that, probably not. You can always try, but just giving you a heads up, most likely there will be no negotiation. If the salary does not fit your expectation, just move on and look for something different. The salary is, of course, very important to every job seeker, but it is also very important for companies. So while answering this question, make sure to also take into account the level of the company, the size of the company, the market they are working in, and tailor your answer accordingly. Next question I want to talk about is why you want to work in our company. And this is also something that is often overlooked by candidates. Just a few days ago, we had an interview with amazing high-end brand that is like top of the market, and quite a few candidates got rejected just because they couldn't put together an answer to question why they want to work in this specific brand. The thing is that if the company asks you this question, it means that it is important for them. And if you cannot think of a reason why you want to work in this specific company, then it could be a deal breaker for them. I feel like a parrot because I keep repeating this thought throughout my videos, but I really hope that it will motivate some of you to actually do this, and this will definitely help you throughout the interview process. You need to know the company that you're applying to. Not just open their website, see that, okay, this is a restaurant or this is a hotel and close it, but actually look into their About Us section. What is their brand about? What are their values? What the company stands for? Go into their latest news if they have this, or just Google the latest news about company. Make sure that you do your research. If they will not ask you this question, you will have an advantage in front of other candidates because you can mention something that you've learned during the interview, and that will momentarily, if this is a word, like right away, make you stand up from the rest of the candidates. If it's in fact important to them and they will ask you this question, you will be prepared and you can give a decent answer about why you want to work with them specifically. And that also could put you aside from other candidates who didn't listen to this video and didn't do that. The good news here is that you really can anticipate all of those questions that we've talked about, and you can really prepare to them. So you can memorize and learn and prepare and rehearse your Tell Me About Yourself. You can definitely go and research and have an understanding of your salary expectations and be ready to answer this question. And of course, you can go and learn about company beforehand, and don't let this question spoil your interview. As always, I hope this was useful. This is it for today. Thank you so much for watching till the very end, and I'll see you in the next videos.